Interior hospital morning. A coffee cup sits on a counter, steam rising off of it. A juice box gets placed next to it. Adam Cohen, 36, picks up both drinks and smiles at a nurse. He steps away from the counter and walks toward a door down the hallway. He stops outside the door and looks in through the window at his son, Ethan Cohen, 8, head shaved bald, lying in a hospital bed. Ethan has a muffled conversation on a phone. Interior, Ethan's hospital room continuous. Adam steps in as Ethan's phone conversation becomes clear. "No, I told you, it's worth $1 million. Ethan scoffs and looks at his dad. He shakes his head and mouths sorry while pointing at the phone, the screen off. Adam chuckles and sips his coffee. "Good. Now of course I'll take my fee at 50%. We'll sign the paperwork later. I have another meeting." Ethan hangs up his call and turns to his dad. "What can I do for you?" Adam takes a seat next to Ethan and hands over the juice box. "Oh, perfect. Just what I needed with these long hours." Ethan takes the juice box and sips. Were you being me?" Ethan smiles. He nods. Adam smirks. "You know, my fees aren't quite that high." Ethan shrugs and stares at his juice box. "I know, but I thought..." Adam's smile falters. "What's wrong, Ethan?" "Well, the other kids think you're boring. I thought if I said you made a lot of money..." Ethan frowns and looks at his dad. "You're not boring, are you? Toby next door said his dad is like a superhero." "Oh, really?" "Yeah, he's super strong, hangs off of cars, and cleans up the streets." Adam thinks for a moment, then takes a breath. He leans in. "Why didn't you tell him about the time I worked for a mob boss to steal a multi-million-dollar statue?" Ethan's eyebrows shoot up. "What?" Adam feigns ignorance. "Oh, did I not tell you about that story?" Ethan shakes his head with a smile. Adam sits back with a smirk and takes a sip of his coffee. "Well, it all started one day at the office." Interior, Adam's office, day. Adam signs a paper and lets out a heavy sigh. He puts it in an outbox on his desk as his office door opens. "I only meet by appointment, sorry." "I think you'll want to hear me out." A hat lands on the desk. Adam looks up to see Luther Santoro, 56, wearing an expensive suit, smiling down at him. "Can I help you, Mr.?" Luther takes a seat opposite Adam.
"Santoro, Luther Santoro, and yes, I believe you can."
Luther takes off a set of gloves and reaches into his coat.
"It's my understanding that as an appraiser, if I were to show you a small statue and several duplicates of it, you could point out the real one?"
Adam studies Luther for a moment. "Yeah, I suppose. There are certain tales that I look for when appraising." Luther nods with a smile.
"Perfect. Now how much to hire you?"
Adam shakes his head. "Oh, I'm not sure I have the time." Luther pulls out a piece of paper and hands it across to Adam. Adam reads over the paper as his eyes go wide.
"Will that cover it?"
Adam drops the paper to the desk. "What do you need me to do?"
"You see, there's a specific statue being transported with a bunch of fakes in a motorcade of armed cars.
Are you
going to steal it?" "Yes. And since you can tell me which one to take, you'll be the one to make the grab."
I don't... Adam sits back in his chair, then nods. Luther smiles and stands before putting his hat back on.
"I'll be in touch."
Luther turns and leaves the office with a wave over his shoulder. Adam looks at the paper again. Interior abandoned warehouse, day. A deck of cards lands on a small table. The crew is given code names based on playing cards. Several hands reach in, each drawing a card. Adam grabs one and turns it over, an ace of spades. I learned their plan and my part in it. Soon it was time to go. Exterior city streets, afternoon. A motorcade of 4 armored cars pulls out of an underground garage. An armored van is the third in the line. The motorcade rounds a corner. Blackjack, dressed like a window cleaner, peels away and hurries into a white van. Interior heist van continuous. The inside of the van is packed to the brim with technology and wires. Adam scoots aside and hands Blackjack a laptop as she settles in. Diamond looks back from the driver's seat. "You call it visual confirmation, Blackjack?" "Of course." "Don't say of course like that." "Like what?" "Like there's no chance you didn't. You remember the Sacramento job?" Blackjack clicks her tongue. "That wasn't my fault, Diamond. You didn't drive fast enough to stay in range. Speaking of which..." Diamond puts the van in gear and takes off, rounding the same corner as the motorcade. Exterior city streets, afternoon. The motorcade winds through the streets as the van follows, a few blocks behind. Interior heist van, same. Diamond picks up a radio. "Motorcade just made the left on Lamar, coming up on the blackout point. Clubs, you guys ready?" Exterior billboard, same. Club 1 and Club 2, dressed as painters, dip rollers into a tray of black paint, then spread it over the large image. One looks over and sees the motorcade in the distance. I got eyes on. They nod at each other. As the motorcade passes underneath, Club 2 shifts his foot and knocks the paint cans off. They fall in slow motion before splashing onto the motorcade below, causing them to swerve and come to a stop. Interior, exterior heist van, moments later. Diamond slows down as he watches the clubs argue with the motorcade guards. Club 1 shouts and kicks a can of paint, coating the front of one of the cars. The motorcade guards load up. One of the motorcade guards stays behind, wiping paint off their windshield. Diamond holds up his radio.
More effective than we thought. They're down one car.
King, Haas, be ready with stage 2. Interior crash car 1, afternoon. King, 26, Hispanic, picks up his radio. Understood, boss. Interior crash car number 2, afternoon. Hearts, 24, Hispanic, laughs and picks up his radio. Híjole, so formal, boss. Did you salute too? Intercut King Hearts. You should show some respect. King shakes his head and taps a finger on the wheel. We have one job here. We are cogs in this machine. Hearts rolls his eyes as he listens. If we fail, if we falter, the whole thing comes crashing down around us like pillars of sand. Hearts holds up his radio with a smirk. Oh, hey, lo siento. I had my finger on the button. Were you saying something? King glares as his nostrils flare. Ay, Dios mío, nunca escuchas cuando your car is coming your way. One and done. Hearts and King each nod, focus grabbing them. Exterior city streets, afternoon. The motorcade approaches an intersection. The lead car crosses through, revealing King and Hearts on either side of the crossroad. They each nod, then gun their vehicles forward. The two cars crash into each other and the rest of the motorcade screeches to a halt, narrowly avoiding another collision. King and Hearts step out of the cars, arguing in Spanish. The heist van sits a short distance away. The motorcade guards step out and start arguing with King and Hearts. The van driver slaps the hood of one of the cars and gestures for Hearts to move it. Hearts flips him off and gets inside. He tries to reverse, but the bumpers are stuck. The motorcade guard sighs and speaks into his radio as they load back up. Interior, heist van, afternoon. Dowell pulls away from the curb and follows the remaining vehicles as they turn to head down a side road. He holds up his radio.
Nice work, boys.
He lets go of the button and hears the brothers still arguing in Spanish. He winces at the volume and turns them down. Diamond looks back to Adam and Blackjack.
We ready?
Blackjack nods as she types away on her laptop. Adam taps his foot and stares at the floor.
Ace.
Adam looks up, making eye contact with Diamond.
We ready?
Adam nods. Exterior city streets, afternoon. The van follows the motorcade as it turns away from some construction and heads down into a tunnel. Interior, exterior heist van, continuous. Diamond looks in the rearview mirror.
It's go time.
Blackjack rubs her hands together and hits the enter key. Nothing happens. She tries again.
What's happening?
It's not working.
What do you mean?
I mean exactly what I said. It's not working. Let me try. He reaches a hand back. Blackjack sneers. Yeah, like that'd do anything. You think you can press a key better than me?
At this point, it doesn't seem like you're doing much better.
Blackjack glares and studies the code on her screen. Oh, here we go. She presses a few keys and hits enter. The lights in the tunnel go out. The darkness suddenly absolute. The motorcade headlights turn on, but are blocked by the paint from earlier. Screeching tires echo out, followed by the sound of a crash. Doors slam and people shout in the darkness. There are sounds of a struggle and grunts. There are grunts and more shouts, then the sounds of bodies dropping to the ground. A flare lights up, bathing the immediate area in glowing red. Diamond, Blackjack, and Adam stand over the knocked-out motorcade guards. Diamond takes off night vision goggles as he follows Blackjack to the back of the armored van. Maybe a little more warning next time? Blackjack taps on a small device and places it on the back door's electronic lock. Did you want me to cut the lights or not? Diamond just shakes his head as the device beeps. The door to the armored van clicks open.
You're up, Ace.
Adam steps over the unconscious guards and makes his way into the van.
Won't they know something's up?
Diamond shakes his head.
They'll forget the last 10 minutes or so. Most likely they'll assume they were just knocked out in the crash.
Adam steps up into the back of the van, followed by Diamond and Blackjack. Blackjack turns on a small, powerful light. Adam starts opening several black cases, carefully inspecting the small statues within. Come on, Ace. Adam ignores him and keeps looking. He reaches the end and thinks for a moment before turning back to a statue in the middle with a nod. This one.
You're sure?
Adam looks in the eye. Positive. Diamond grabs the statue and puts it into a small case. He pulls out an identical statue and puts it back in the original case. Montage. They close each case. They put the motorcade guards in the driver's seats. They load up into their heist van. They pull away, going the opposite direction.
Wait.
Interior, Ethan's hospital room, day. Adam sits up, his brain coming out of the story. Is something wrong?
Well, that's cool and all, but are you like a criminal?
Adam smirks. Exterior tunnel exit afternoon. The heist van emerges from the darkness, then screeches to a stop. Diamond and Blackjack look ahead, seeing a line of police officers standing in front of a barricade. I was kind of working both sides. The police officers move in. Interior Ethan's hospital room, day. Ethan's face lights up with a smile.
Awesome, you got them arrested?
Adam nods with a smile. Yep, all the way to the top. Your old man felt pretty clever.
So you still got paid, right?
Well, of course, the rifle owner was happy to pay me a reward for helping.
How much was it?
Adam smiles. He looks around the room at the fluids, at the hospital bed, at the medications, and finally at Ethan's smiling face. Adam kisses Ethan on the forehead. Enough to make it all worth it. Adam stands with a smile. Why don't I go get us some food?
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Adam walks away, reaching into his pocket. Interior hospital, same. Adam finishes talking to a nurse and leans against the counter. He plays with something in his hand as he looks down the hall and sees Toby, 9, standing next to his dad, 34. Toby's dad wears coveralls that read Waste Management. They walk into the room next to Ethan's. Adam chuckles and nods to himself as 2 Jello cups are placed on the counter. Adam smiles at the nurse as he tucks what was in his hand into his shirt pocket. Thank you. Adam grabs the cups and turns towards Ethan's room. In his shirt pocket sits a playing card, an ace of spades. He walks into Ethan's room. The end.